Eternal gracious Lord, we thank you for another day. We thank you for this opportunity, God. We thank you for allowing us to be in the house before the storm. We thank you, Lord, that you comfort us, God, that you look after us, that you continuously nurture us and minister to us through your word. Now, Lord, it's time for the preaching hour. I pray right now that you may give me articulation of speech and clarity of mind to preach the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And Lord, let your word go forth, God, whereby it may change, it may revive, renew, and refresh a soul here today. Lord, we thank you for this, and God, we count it all joy. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Coming out of 2 Kings chapter 5. So good. How you doing, Sister James? So good to see you, James. I'm happy you're here because last was a beautiful time with the Washington football team, wasn't it? I know, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'm going to let you out so we can go home and watch Pittsburgh Steelers tonight. My James. I'm going to be back up here because Jay gave me that evil look. Amen. 2 Kings chapter 5, starting at verse 1. And we'll go through verse 14. I'm going to do something that my homiletic professor, Dr. James Harris, at that great institution at Virginia Union, warned against about giving a long scripture to preach from. But understand we have to understand the whole context from which we preach and teach for this particular text. So coming out of 2 Kings, chapter 5, starting in verse 1, reads, Now Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great and honorable man in the eyes of his master, because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. He was also a mighty man of valor, but a leper. And the Syrians had gone out on raids and had brought back captive a young girl from the land of Israel. She waited on Naaman's wife. Then she said to her mistress, If only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, for he would heal him of his leprosy. And Naaman went in and told his master, saying, Thus and thus said the girl who was from the land of Israel. Then the king of Syria said, Go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 changes of clothing. Then he brought the letter to the king of Israel, which said, Now be advised, when this letter comes to you, that I have sent Naaman my servant to you, that you may heal him of his leprosy. And it happened when the king of Israel read the letter, that he tore his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and make alive, that this man sends a man to me to heal him of his leprosy? Therefore, please consider and see how he seeks a quarrel with me. So it was when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, Why have you torn your clothes? Please let him come to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. Then Naaman went with his horses and chariot, and he stood at the door of Elijah's house. And Elijah sent a messenger to him, saying, Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored to you, and you shall be made clean. But Naaman became furious and went away and said, Indeed, I said to myself, he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and wave his hand over the place and heal the leprosy. Are not the Abana and the Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. And the servants came near and spoke to him and said, My father, if the prophet had told you to do something great, would you have not done it? How much more then, when he says to you, wash and be clean? Verse 14. So he went down and dipped 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. For just a few moments, with your thoughts and prayers, I'm going to put a tag on this text and preach the topic. Faith will get you through. Faith will get you through. Can you look at a neighbor and say, Neighbor, oh neighbor, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're dealing with, faith will get you through. Find another neighbor and say, Neighbor,
Neighbor.
Oh neighbor.
Oh neighbor.
You may be going through hell.
You may be going through hell.
You may have a storm.
You may have a storm.
But faith
Will
get you through.
get you through.
Faith will get you through. There's an old saying that says, winners never quit and quitters never win. Can we all be honest for a second and say that all of us have experienced times of victory and times of defeat in our life? So many times we have people and things that come against us that oftentimes you want to throw up our hands, throw in the towel, say, God, I'm through. It's over. I'm done. I can't take it anymore. The pressure around me is unbearable. I can't take it anymore. Perhaps I'm talking to somebody right now, and you've come to church, you're saying, Lord, I'm at my wit's end. I've prayed and I've prayed. I'm following the rules, God. I'm trying to do all that you've called me to do. But God, only thing I'm trying to hold on is faith. And in a real sense, my faith is weak because the more I hold on, it seems as though that you're not showing up on time. We all know the story that God may not come when you want him to come, but he was always right on time. And sometimes, can we be honest and say, God, when is your time coming? God, I've been holding on, God, for a long time, God, and it really, in a real sense, seems that you have forgotten about me, God, because I've been holding on, God, and I know that winners never quit and quitters never win, but in a real sense, God, I need you to show up right now because my faith is shaky. Am I talking to somebody here this morning? You can honestly say there have been times in your life whereby your faith has seemed shaky. You've been questioning God, you're questioning your commitment, you're questioning your relationship, you're questioning whether God is still on the throne, you're questioning whether or not God has forgotten about you, because all of a sudden when life deals you a bad hand, it seems as though that God has gone on another side. God has gone on another assignment. Sometimes, my friends, that faith will seem impossible to hold on, especially when things are going good at one time, but yet we come up and face a major hurdle in life. Have you ever gone through that when things seem to be going well at one time in your life, and all of a sudden you encountered a major hurdle? People talked about you, said what you could and couldn't do, and all of a sudden what you thought was successful all of a sudden became a major hurdle in your life. You're not feeling me like I need you to. Let me help break this thing down. Last night I had the distinct honor and pleasure of watching Saturday Night Football. I gotta watch Saturday Night Football, and last night was a grand showdown between the University of Notre Dame going against University of Oklahoma. Well, check this out for my non-football fans and college football fans. Notre Dame is ranked number 5. They're ranked number 5. They're getting back to stardom. They're getting back to the glory that college football wants them to have. But this time they're going against a big-time baller, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is now the strong team. They're playing in Norman, Oklahoma. Can you see that? Here is Notre Dame ranked number 5. They're getting the big-time glory. They're getting right up in the newspaper. But yet there's some media people saying, hold on for a second. Notre Dame is going to get crushed by Oklahoma. We're going to find out how good Notre Dame really is, because now they're playing a real team. They're not playing the BYUs. They're not playing the Michigans or Michigan States, but now they're playing big baller shot caller University of Oklahoma. But check this out, they're not playing them in South Bend, Kevin. They're playing them in Norman, Oklahoma. So Notre Dame has to travel to the enemy's field. Isn't that something? Here is Notre Dame. They're ranked above Oklahoma, but yet they get dissed and dismissed by sports writers because they're saying that Notre Dame hasn't really played anybody. Can you imagine that? Here you are, you're ranked high, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and yet you got haters telling you what you can and what you can't do. Isn't that how life is? As soon as you get up in life, all of a sudden, as soon as you go to the enemy's territory, somebody who doesn't know anything about you, someone who doesn't know the faith that you exhibit, someone that hasn't even played the game is all of a sudden going to tell you what you can and can't do. So they wrote Notre Dame off. Can you see it? Here goes Notre Dame. Number 5, Patrice. They're going into Norman, Oklahoma, trying to play a football game, and they made it so good. We're not going to put it at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, but Jay, we're going to make it primetime TV. We're going to put it on national television. We want the whole world to see whether or not Notre Dame has what it takes to beat Oklahoma, and the scene was set. Here goes Notre Dame in Oklahoma. They're going through play after play. The world is watching Notre Dame do their thing, and they're watching Kevin, Oklahoma, try to do their thing. Isn't that something? The same people who are writing Notre Dame off, saying that they can't do anything, are the main ones trying to speak negative against Notre Dame for all the stuff that they're going through. And I'm here to let you know, no matter what you're going through in life, there will always be someone in your life that will try to bring you down, talk about where you're living at, talk about your education, talk about your money. There will always be somebody in your life to point out a flaw. Isn't that something? Rather than talk about the good, rather than talk about the promise and potential God has placed in you, rather they want to concentrate on your flaw, what you didn't do right, what you did wrong, what you're not doing. Am I talking to somebody this morning that as soon as you start doing good, all of a sudden you have a flaw that someone is trying to expose? Since you're not being, you don't want to talk back to me right now, let's go ahead and talk to my man Naaman. Yeah, Naaman in the Bible said, yeah, I was a mighty man. I was commander. I was a number 2 man in the war, Patrice, but yet I'm an honorable man. I'm a great man. I'm out there having victory. I got it going on. But his Naaman says, I got a problem. My problem is not about war, because I know how to plan and I know how to carry out things. But Naaman says, I got a problem that I can't hide from. I got leprosy. Isn't that something? He's a mighty man, but he got leprosy. But the Bible lets us know, because he was a good man, because he was an honorable man, God used him to bring victory to the Syrian people. Isn't that something? No matter what this man had, God said, I'm going to look past your leprosy and use your faithfulness to give victory to everybody around you. Let me help somebody right now. If you want somebody in your life to do better, to live better, God brought me here to say, you go ahead and become a mighty man, a mighty woman of God, and live victoriously, live honorably, and God will use you to give victory to everybody else in your life. You missed your shot. Let me go back and say that again. If you got somebody on your job that you're praying for, somebody in your family that you're in prayer for, and you say, Lord, I need you to show up in their life, God has said, you go ahead and become victorious. You stand up and speak out on faith. You keep your hand in God's hand, and God will do to you what he did to Naaman. He will give you the victory because of your faithfulness. But Naaman had a problem. He had leprosy. Leprosy was a skin disease. It was a skin disorder. And you know, in Bible history, that leprosy, you cannot be around people with leprosy. You were supposed to be an outcast. You were supposed to be ostracized. But here is Naaman. Naaman got leprosy. And yeah, he's there, and they capture somebody on a raid. They capture a little Israelite girl, and the Israelite girl is working for Naaman's wife. Isn't that something? Here's an Israelite girl who knows the Lord for herself, working for the enemy, and somehow, somewhere, she's right there, and she hears about Naaman's leprosy, and so she says, I wish my master would go and see the prophet in Samaria, and he would heal him of his leprosy. I like that right there, because this young girl was ministering. This young girl said, even though I may be captured by the enemy, I will not lose my faith in the God above me. I like that. Let me say that again. Even though I'm working for the enemy, I'm not going to be concentrating on the enemy, that I lose the faith of the God above me to give me the strength to heal everybody around me. So So rather than talk bad about her master, she said, look here, Naaman, I know a man who's a prophet over in Samaria. And I can stop right there, because how many of us have gotten bad people on our jobs? People get on our last good nerve. People talk about it. People scandalize our name. People want to treat us bad. And sometimes we want to say, God, just deal with them, God. Remove them out of the way, rather than pray for them. Sometimes many people say, God, get rid of them. But this little girl, I like it. This little girl says, I'm not going to pray against my master. I'm going to pray for my master to get healed. So she tells Naaman, go ahead and see the prophet. And I like what Naaman did. Naaman did not sit back and negotiate with the girl. He did not say, Mickey, I'm going to go ahead and let's have a prayer session with people. He didn't say, I'm going to go and talk to my pastor or rabbi. He didn't say, let me go home and fast about it. But he heard from the little girl that there's a prophet in Samaria that will heal him of his leprosy. Isn't that good news right there? Naaman, a mighty man of war, he got leprosy, a skin disorder that he can't hide. Here's a word from a little girl, which means that there's words coming from little children. I like that. See, not all of us adults got something going on, but Naaman says, I'm going to step out on faith and trust a little girl. Isn't that good news right there? That we just mature and educate our little kids, that they can give us some good news so that we can step out on faith. It's not always about the adults, but every now and again, the little kids can give us a word of advice to cause us to step out on faith. So Naaman says, okay, cool beans. I'm going to go talk to the king. He told the king the problem, and the king said, go ahead, Naaman. You've been doing a good job, and I know this means everything to you, so go ahead. But before you go, I'm going to send a letter by your way so that you won't have any problem when you get to the king. So Naaman said, cool, no problem. I'm going on my journey. He gets to the king, and the king says, hold on for a second. He reads the letter, and he said, wait a minute. Your king is trying to start a war for me. I can't go ahead and heal or make alive. Who am I? I'm just a king. But the good news is that the prophet Elisha heard word that the king ripped off his clothes. He said, hold on, king. Why are you ripping off your clothes? In other words, this don't even concern you. You need to send him to me. I'm going to help somebody else for a second. See, the prophet told the king, King, you can't do nothing with this. You can't handle him. He needs to come to me. Okay, I missed that. In other words, king, just because you've been appointed doesn't give you the anointing to deal with this situation. You need to come to me. Y'all missed it. Let me go back and say that again. Yes, I know we got political officials. Yes, we're supposed to give honor to the president and prime ministers of all countries. But guess what? When it comes to the prophet of God, you go to the prophet for your healing. You don't go to a political official for your healing. Can I help somebody with that? Whatever problem you need. Yes, we got politicians, but the good news is that God will always send a prophet that can speak a word from the Lord that's not about policy or procedures, that's not about Republicans or Democrats, but God will send a word from heaven that will speak to you and your situation. But it requires us to step out on faith. And Elijah said, cool, send him to me. And I like that because here comes Naaman. Naaman is coming to him, Kevin. He's coming to him. He's bringing all this good stuff with him. He said, I'm going to the man's house. I'm going to the prophet's house. And as soon as he gets there, can you imagine, on your anointed imagination, he knocks on the door. And Elijah says, somebody else out to meet him. You're going to meet the prophet for your healing. But the prophet says a messenger. Okay, I want you to get your sanctified message. Just think about how you will feel. You're going for a healing to meet the man. But rather than meet the man, you meet his messenger. And the messenger says, the prophet says, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times. Wait a minute. I'm ticked off for a second. I'm mad because I've traveled this distance. I got a problem, and this little girl told me you were the answer. And you don't even have the audacity to come out and meet me for yourself. The Bible says he didn't even come out and greet the man and name his upset, but rather you said, your messenger. Hold on for a second. Now you're testing my faith. I had enough faith to leave my place of employment when I was doing full-time, Nikki, because I got a problem, to go see a prophet. And when I get there, now my faith comes into question. Because the prophet doesn't come out, but rather he sends out a messenger to tell me to go wash 7 times in the dirty Jordan. Hold on for a second. That doesn't make sense because Naaman said, wait a minute, he didn't even come out to greet me. In other words, you didn't even show me no respect, Elijah. You sent a messenger to tell me to go wash in the Jordan 7 times, to dip it 7 times, I'm going to be made clean. But Naaman said, hold on for a second. I know 2 other rivers. Because I don't want to go to this river because the Jordan River, everybody's been in the Jordan River, but what he didn't understand that the Jordan River was God's river. Y'all understand? That was the Israelites' river. See, God said, don't worry where I send you. And you just got to go do what I got to do. Well, I want you. See, Naaman wanted to do things his way. But God said, nah, my way is the best. So you know the Bible said, God said, my ways are not your ways, for as my thoughts are not your thoughts, for as high as the heaven above, so are my thoughts from your thoughts. But Naaman has to now go into the Jordan River, which is God's river. And so Naaman is upset. Naaman is frustrated. And isn't that how a lot of us are sometimes when it comes to faith? God tells us to do one thing, and we say, hold on, God, I don't want to do it that way, God, but I want to do it my way, God. I don't want to listen to this person over here, but I want to do it my way because somehow, someway, that person doesn't know what they're talking about. Am I talking to somebody right now? I say, see, God, I don't want to do it your way, God, because your way is the inconvenient way, God. Your way is going to get me dirty, God. Your way is going to make me feel less than, God. Your way is going to make me swallow my pride. But God said, if you want your healing, you better use your faith. But God said, just in case you don't step out immediately, I'm going to do to you what I did to Naaman. He sent some servants, and the servants said, hold on, Master, if the prophet told you to do something great, you go ahead and do it. In other words, if it was all about you and some great feat, you would say, no problem, I'll go ahead and do it. But because he told you to go into the Jordan 7 times, you're not going to do it. And I like when Naaman went ahead and did it. He said, okay, let me go into the river 7 times. And he said, I came up clean. I like that. He said, I took not just the prophet, but I also listened to my servants. And I went and did what God told me to do. I stepped out on faith, and now I got my healing. See, I need to help somebody right. See, whatever you're standing in need of, you may be saying, God, I know what you want me to do, God. But God, I'm waiting for the right situation. I'm waiting for my money to get right. I'm waiting for my situation to get right. And God said, don't keep waiting. Just go ahead and do. Because when you do what God's called you to do, then God can make you whole. God can make you healing. Because God said, just have faith. But let me go and give you 3 because the storm is coming. And I know we got to go see the game. Right, Brother Kevin? Root for Pittsburgh. Right on, my brother. Look here, the first thing we need to understand on why you have faith to make it through is that you need to understand no matter how successful or anointed you are, it will not absolve you from going through hell. Okay, let me say that again. I said that too quick. No matter how spiritual you are, no matter how much you quote the Bible, no matter how much you come to church on Bible say, guess what? You still will go through trials and tribulations. We talked about that earlier this morning. Hold on, God. I'm trying to be the man. I'm trying to be the woman that you called me to be. But God is not fair, God. God, I want to make my life right. God said, no matter how anointed you are, no matter how successful you are, you will go through some issues. You will go through some times of trials and tribulations. Look at Naaman. Naaman was a baller. He said, I got it going on, Chris. I'm a warrior. I'm a commander of the army. I get success wherever I go. Because of me, my master, and my army, and my nation, they are blessed. But yet I got a problem. Isn't that something? How is it that you got all this going away, yet you still got a problem? Yet you got an issue, and yet something is going on in your life. I'm here to let you know. Please don't think that the person sitting right beside you is perfect. Matter of fact, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you're not perfect. Wrong neighbor, find another neighbor and say, neighbor, you got some issues. But guess what? I'm here to let you know. Your issues you can get over your issues if you step out on faith. Because faith will get you through. I know, Daniel, I got some issues. Daniel had that appointment like, you got some issues, Pastor. I know I got some issues. I'm still working on. Pray for me, okay? Pray for me. But guess what? No matter how anointed or successful you are, you will go through some issues. Y'all not feeling. Come on, let's talk to our President Barack Hussein Obama. Check it out. You do realize that the media fail to realize that when this man got elected as president, that some words from the other party came out and said, we're going to make him a one-term president. Isn't that something? They talk about his economy. They talk about his foreign policy, but yet they don't want to talk about people saying, we're going to make him a one-term president. We're going to say no. No one wants to deal with that hateration, but I like our president. He stands up in the midst of all hateration. He stands up with a smile on his face, and they can't stand the brother because he refuses to bow down to ignorance. He refuses to bow down to the level of stupidity because he says, I'm too anointed. I got it going on. Yeah, I got some issues called another political party behind me trying to mess me up and mess me over. But guess what? He got a God that put him in the White House to help the least and the left out. I'm sorry, he's in the White House to help out the 47%. Oh, I'm loving that right there. But guess what? I don't want a president with 47%. I want a president with 100%. Because no matter where you go, in the White House, in the church house, in your family, in the courtroom, you will always have haters in your life. You will always have an issue in your life. So Naaman had an issue, but he had leprosy, but he said, I'm not going to allow leprosy to define me or confine me. I like that right there, because too many times we get confined and defined by what we got or what we don't have. We always make excuses saying, God, if it wasn't for this, I would be here. If it wasn't for that, I would do this. And the time for excuses are over. I want you to know the time for excuses are over. Stop holding you back from being all that God has called you to be. When you make up your mind, say, you know what? God has called me for a reason, that I'm not going to be limited or defined by what's happening to me, that I'm going to turn to God in faith and watch God do what only God is able to do, because God created him to be somebody, not to be less than. But check this out. That was my first point. The second thing, I like the second thing. This is my shout. The second thing said, the greater your problem, the more faith we need to exhibit. Isn't that something right there? Naaman had a problem. He said, but you know what? I got to go ahead and have faith to get out of this problem. Come on, let's go back to the story. It said Naaman got leprosy, right, Nikki? But now he hits a little girl. So that's faith right there. Said, I got a problem. I hear a girl talking about this prophet. So now I'm going to take off work for a while. I got to deal with this problem. Because before I become effective out there, I got to get myself cleaned up. Ooh, that's some good stuff. Can I say that again? Before I help everybody else, I got to work on me. See, every now and again it's good to help somebody else out. But if you fail to work on you, you will be messed up and jacked up. So Naaman says, I hear a girl, now I'm going on a journey. I know where I'm going. I'm going to a prophet's house because I need to get well, because I got a major problem. So Naaman says, hold on, I'm going to a prophet's house. I'm bringing everything, but he don't come out. I got to go back and say, I'm upset, Mickey, because I've traveled this long way. And you don't come out. It's easy for me to go back home. It's easy for me to say, it ain't even worth it. Okay, but here's another one. It's easy for me to say, it ain't my time. Sorry, Kevin, bad English. Let me say that again. It's not my time. But every now and again, that's when we got to go a little bit further. When the enemy wants to say, it's not your time, we say, no. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No, it's God's time. And so the greater my problem, the more faith I need to exhibit. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Y'all looking at me kind of funny. I left everybody out because Kevin had that look on me when I was talking about football. I don't know if you saw the game last night, but I left you with the story about Notre Dame and Oklahoma. When you do realize that Notre Dame, they was trying to diss Notre Dame because they were number 5, so they didn't play nobody. But guess what? Notre Dame went ahead and won the game. Y'all missed that? They went ahead and won the game. They were in the enemy's territory. And why? Because they had faith to believe in the coach. Y'all missed that? They had faith to believe in a young quarterback. They had faith to believe in the defense. And because they had a problem, they were already in the enemy's territory. They realized they just came together, exhibit a little bit of faith because they had a problem. The problem was they were dealing with outside haters. The problem about they were dealing with everybody who said they weren't good enough. I'm here to let you know that when you have enough faith, you can tell everybody on the outside, look at me now. You tried to kill me, but you didn't. You tried to talk bad about me, but God used your hateration as motivation for my elevation. I like that because I can go into the enemy's territory and come out victorious. Yes, I may not be all that in the bag of chip or but it really doesn't even matter as long as we're walking with Almighty God. Because if we're walking with God, we can be like Paul and say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But since you missed that, here's my last shout out. We out of here. The last thing the text lets us know is that obedience leads to your breakthrough. Y'all missed that. Obedience leads to your breakthrough because here comes Naaman. Naaman says, okay, I'm going to go down into Jordan. I'm going to go. But when I come up, I get clean. I like that. He said, I'm going in and I'm going to do what we say. I'm going 7 times, and on the 7th time, I'm going to come up clean. That's my word for somebody. When you step out on faith and you do what God has called you to do, yes, you're going to have to go through some trials. Yes, you're going to have to go through some tribulations. Yes, things may not go right. Yes, your faith is going to be tested. But I promise you, matter of fact, I guarantee you, if you do what God has called you to do and you become obedient to His word and His voice, I promise you, you will get your breakthrough. Has anyone here ever had a breakthrough before? If God has ever got you through one thing, He can show enough bless you time and time again. But it is obedience. Yes, everybody may not have your back, but the good news is that God tells you to do something. God's got not your back, but He got your front and your side. So be like Naaman. Go down in the water. Don't worry about how dirty it is. Don't worry about what other people are going to think. Don't worry about what other people are going to say. The question is, how bad do you want it? If you want it bad enough, you can do it. If you need it bad enough, you will trust in God. Let me tell you a little story, and I'm done. Y'all know the story about my new boy. Isn't it amazing how, when I look back over my life, I'm only testifying, not to brag, but to kind of let y'all know, how when I was in school, how they told me, you know what, you won't ever go to college? When my SAT was so bad, Chris, that they was like trade school. Barely graduated. Got fussed out on graduation night. Graduated for 2.0. Had an SAT that would make people laugh. That would call me ignorant something. But isn't that something but faith? You trust in God. Look at me now. Educated, author, publisher, artist. I'm not rep. I'm here to let you know. If you do what God tells you to do, you can go back to everybody who said what you couldn't do and say, look at me now. You can say that was back then, but this is now. So as I'm closed, I want everybody to know one thing right now. When you step out on faith, trust in God. When people say, oh, you can't do that, you're not smart enough. It's not about what you think. It's about what God told me to do. If God wants you to start your own business, but you have no business experience, you don't have no money, you know what? You're not helping me out. This is between me and God. Because in the real sense, they didn't create you. They didn't wake you up this morning. They didn't save you. They didn't deliver you. Only one who you can trust is Almighty God. So faith will get you through anything and everything, but you got to have faith in G-O-D to get you through anything and everything. Let's look to the Lord in prayer.